What is up, guys? In this video we're going to cover gesture recognizers, so let's hop into our game scene class right here and we're going to create another load function. So this function is going to load the gesture recognizers that we want to add to our scene, and what the gesture recognizers are going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to either tap on the screen, swipe on the screen, either swipe right or swipe down, and each of those actions is going to be able to do a different thing with our hero. So for instance, when we tap, we're going to get the hero to start running and also jumping when the game is running. When we swipe right, we're going to get the hero to slide, and when we swipe down, we're going to get the hero to slash with his sword to cut through obstacles. So to create a gesture recognizer, we want to do this. So we're going to say, to start, we're going to do the tap gesture recognizer because we have to add all of them separately. So let's say let tap gesture recognizer equals UI tap gesture recognizer. And this has a constructor which allows us to designate a function that we can call on an object. So the object we want the function to call from is going to be just self. And we're going to call this action tapped. So all this means is that if we add this to our scene, we can add a function to the object that we designated here, which happens to be the scene itself. And we can say func tapped, and say, for instance, just to check that this is working, let's say print tapped. So this is good so far. The one thing we need to make sure we do is we need to add this gesture recognizer to the view. So let's say view dot add gesture recognizer tap gesture recognizer. And we also need to make sure that we call that function. So load gesture recognizers. So now if we run this, really quick, we want to comment out this right here in the touches began, because the gesture recognizers are going to replace most of the things that we have in the touches began method. So now if we run this, you're going to see that when we tap, the hero isn't going to start running anymore, or the ground's not going to move, because now we only have this tapped function getting called anytime we click. And awesome. So it looks like what we did was correct. So let's move on to the right swipe gesture recognizer. So now that we have that added, we're going to do a similar thing with the swipes with one extra feature. So let's say let right swipe gesture recognizer equal UI swipe gesture recognizer. This has the same function for the tap gesture recognizer. So self, we'll call this right swiped. That's the function we want called when we swipe right on the screen. So the extra feature that this has is we can designate a direction for this gesture recognizer. Because we just have this generic UI swipe gesture recognizer, we need to tell it which direction it should be looking for. So we can say right swipe gesture recognizer dot direction, and you see that it's of type UI swipe gesture recognizer direction. So it's a mouthful, but you should be able to autocomplete that. So I'll say UI swipe gesture recognizer, there it is, direction dot right. So this is going to designate this specific gesture recognizer we created as one that detects right swipes. So let's add this to our scene. And always remember to add the gesture recognizers to your scene. I have definitely made the mistake of not doing that, and I didn't know what was wrong for a long time. So don't do that. Then we're going to create this function right swiped, which we designated up here in the action. And we'll do something similar. So we'll say print right swiped. And if we run this, hopefully we set all that up correctly. So if we tap, we get tapped. If we swipe right, we get right swiped. So awesome. The last one we're going to set up is the down swipe gesture recognizer, which is extremely similar to this. So let's just copy all of this code. And we're just going to change a few things. So we want this to be the down swipe recognizer. We want the function called to be down swiped. It's going to be down. The direction is going to be down instead of right. And replace this as well. So last but not least, let's create that down swiped function, and we can print out down swiped. So let's run this up. If we swipe down, we get down swiped. If we swipe right, we get right swiped. And if we tap, we get tapped. Awesome. So now we can start tying some actions to this. So let's make it so when we tap, our hero starts running, and when we swipe right, our hero slides. So the two animations that we've already implemented. So right here, let's say hero.animate run for tapped. And we can actually, we can leave in that print tapped. Maybe you guys will find that useful. It just kind of provides some information to you as you're running the game. And for right swiped, let's do hero.animate slide. So before we actually run this, we need to change the animate slide method just a little bit, because the slide method only gets called when the hero is already running. So we need to make sure that when this slide animation completes, we call self.animate run again. So this is going to make the hero start running again. So it's going to, because that's what we want. We want the hero to slide and then start running again. So, oh, actually, one more thing before we run this. But on every single animate method, we need to put in remove all actions. This basically just cleans the slate of any previous animations that the hero is currently running. And so this will just make it cleaner and make it so we don't run into any animation errors down the line. So finally, let's run this. And now if we tap, you'll see the hero starts running. And if we swipe right, we get that awesome slide animation as well. So yeah, that's it for this video. This is looking pretty good.